What up, Delta Nation? It's your boy Delta here, ready to drop some serious alpha. Welcome back to Delta Code, where we crack the code of investing. This week, we're diving into one of the most anticipated earnings weeks of the year, packed with heavy hitters and prime opportunities for us to catch some of the market shaking moves. Let's make sure we're ready to be Sigma in your portfolio. Okay, so today is Monday the 28th, and we have some early movers, Philips and Ford report today, Waste Management. These are some, tech and staples and electronics, but the real excitement starts Tuesday, gets really interesting on Wednesday, especially for our portfolio, and then finishes off Thursday with some big hitters. Friday is kind of lackluster, some oil companies reporting, but midweek it is exciting for our portfolio and big tech. Starting off Tuesday, we have PayPal, we have SoFi, AMD, Alphabet, Snapchat, Chipotle, Visa, Pfizer. Wednesday is the biggest for our portfolio. We have Meta and Coinbase reporting. Also interesting, noteworthy companies are Lilly, Caterpillar, Etsy, Biogen, Robinhood, and obviously Microsoft. Our portfolio, the biggest position is Coinbase, and I've done a forecast for their revenue, so you should not be surprised when they report. The market might be, but as I'm reading reports of other analysts, I think there's a very good consensus of what to expect. Now, quarter over quarter change is actually not that stellar. That's something I prefer to look at. But a lot of analysts look at year over year changes, and for Coinbase, everything is looking better, which might be encouraging to the market. I don't expect stellar guidance for Q4, but this may be lowballing, or it's what it's called sandbagging, where Coinbase may guide something similar to Q3 based on the current numbers that they're seeing. Nothing exciting has happened yet, but Q4 is generally a good quarter for crypto and could surprise to the upside. So Q4 could end up being a lot better than Coinbase guides. They'll likely guide in very conservative numbers, and we like to have conservative estimates that are really grounded. Meta recently had their event where they released or showed their new Oculus that is now shipped for $300. That is, I think, twice as good as the previous one and the best thing on the market when it comes to VR. At the same time, Apple is reported to be discontinuing their 3D glasses, what were they called? Their 3D glasses, the Vision Pro, because it costs $3,500, and not a lot of people saw value in spending that much money on a nascent technology. $300, you can play some interesting games, do some social stuff, and experiment with VR at its early stage as it is now. But more exciting, Meta released or showed their Orion glasses, which are wearable AR glasses. And I've covered this on one of my previous videos, but the TLDR is they weigh 100 grams. They look a little wider than mine that I'm wearing here. They come with a bracelet that doesn't look much different than this, that registers your brain signals to your muscles and gestures that you program so that you can control things that you see through your glasses. It also has a brick that you put in your pocket that wirelessly does some of the compute. I think this will be offloaded to your phone in the future, and possibly something that Apple might do because they have a powerful computer that you have in your pocket. Why not offload the compute to that? Okay, so that was a mouthful. Microsoft obviously is really leaning into the AI. So on Wednesday, that is another one we will pay attention to. Robinhood is getting deep into crypto, launching their crypto products, and their stock has, I think, more than doubled this year. Uber has turned profitable, and now they're printing money, which is also exciting. Apple might report something weaker than the market expects. I don't think their new iPhone is shipping really well. They're discontinuing their Vision Pro. So there might be some headwind for Apple. They've pretty much captured all the market they can capture. So there's not much growth left, in my opinion. Intel is one of our ideas that may have a good turnaround in 2025 and 2026. The stock is down a lot. It dropped, I think, 30% in the last few months. It went from 40 to 30, and then it had a sudden drop from 30 to 20 in the last earnings report. Things probably are not better yet, but they're about to bring online a fabrication plant in Arizona and start shipping things similar to Taiwan Semiconductors. Amazon is one of the best companies to own if you understand how much of the internet is ran on AWS. So that is the preview for the week. Obviously, we will do the deepest dive on Coinbase like we always do, and our other interesting ideas. In one of my previous videos, I floated the idea of Snapchat possibly being acquired by Apple because of what we saw from Meta. Meta showed their AR glasses, and if you do some 5D chess as I like to play, it seems plausible that Apple would buy the next best AR competitor from Meta in order to control that device. Because Apple controls the device, they can charge app store fees, which are, I think, 30% of everything transacted on there. And if Meta is successful by bringing the new compute device that we all use, they can disintermediate Apple, which is their whole goal. That's why they're spending or have spent already $60 billion on their Meta Labs for the 3D and AR glasses, because they know they'll get all this back by cutting out Apple and Google from the Play Store and the App Store and not having to pay fees that they pay now. All right, other interesting companies that I am going to pay attention to, obviously, Roku, Carvana, and Starbucks. Just interest. Carvana was one of my heavily shorted opportunities at the start of the year that I recommended at $40. It is now over $200. I think it's a little overvalued, but we'll see in this earnings report if their sales have gone through the roof and if the market knows something that we don't. And that's why the stock has gone up. I would not be surprised to see a pullback here after they report. Interest rates are still high, so purchasing a car is not as affordable as it could be if interest rates were lower. But I personally used Carvana and bought a car, so maybe I helped their bottom line. Etsy is an interesting one. I think it's a little undervalued at current prices. Caterpillar is an interesting company to pay attention to. If Caterpillar is doing well, that means there's an expansion in the economy. People are building things. They're buying heavy machinery. They're building things out. It means capital expenditure is good, and it's a really good proxy for the economy. So looking at this list of companies reporting this week, we can get a really good reading on the economy. Visa will tell us how much consumers are in debt and how much money they're borrowing, how much money they're making. Caterpillar will tell us how much companies are expanding on their capital expenditure, how much stuff is being built in the economy that has a huge multiplier effect. And then Amazon will tell us how strong the consumer is, how much they're spending, how much they're ordering. Also, the health of the tech sector, because as companies spend more on AWS, we know that they have more traffic and they will collectively all have better incomes. Starbucks has had a change of leadership. They've seen their growth suffer, or they've captured as much of the market as they can. The market is quite saturated. I've heard people connect the saturation woes of Starbucks similar to Apple, that they've captured all the market there is to capture in their segment, and now they can just raise prices or make better products. Raising prices but while maintaining a same or inferior product doesn't go well, and that's where companies can start to suffer, as Starbucks has recently, and I think Apple will as well. Coming up, other than doing deep dives on these companies that you see circled, I will also start a new segment called Take a Ticker, Leave a Ticker, where I will give you 5 ideas I have and I give you my reasoning for I think these are investable companies. But in return, I would like you to give a ticker back. So comment below of some ideas that you have or companies you invest in that I can explore as well. Each week, I will do a take a ticker, leave a ticker, and following week, I will take one of the tickers you leave behind and do a deep dive. So if you would like me to do a deep dive on your company or one that you are heavily invested in, leave a ticker, take a ticker, help yourself. Together, we're all smarter, and I think the collective wisdom of the Delta Nation is stronger than one brain. Many brains good. So starting soon, I will do a segment called Take a Ticker, Leave a Ticker, where you can leave a ticker and take a ticker. I will give you some investable ideas I have and the reasoning why I think these companies will do well in the future. And if you would be so kind as to leave a ticker if you take a ticker. If you add one of these to your portfolio, in exchange, other than subscribe and like, leave a ticker. Maybe I'll find a fault in your company's logic or in your reasoning, and you might want to sell. Or maybe I will see something that you missed that makes this company even more investable and you want to buy more. If I find value in your suggestions, I will add them to my portfolio and keep up more regular analysis of these companies. So let us invest together. Earnings report can be volatile times in the markets. There's expectations and companies sometimes meet expectations, sometimes exceed, sometimes fail to. Sometimes they deliver guidance that the market didn't expect, worse or better than expected, which creates volatility. In these volatile times, I want you to remember this quote. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails in order to get to your destination. Same with your portfolio. You can't control the markets or what the companies do, but you can adjust your portfolio to reach your financial goals. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, may the force of compound interest be with you. Peace.